Welcome, everyone, to the Memphis Astronomical Society February meeting. My name is Rick Honey. I'm the current president of the organization. Welcome you to our club meeting and to our society if you're new to our organization. We have a QR code that you can scan, and if you do and follow the link, it'll take you to this web page where you can sign up for email from us, get on our email distribution list, or you can sign up to be an actual member of the Memphis Astronomical Society. You don't have to be active in the society. If you like what we're doing and want to support our efforts to share the knowledge of science and astronomy with the general public, which is our primary mission, then join and be a member just to help support. But we've got a lot of members that join to learn more about astronomy and learn how to use their telescopes, and we love facilitating that. So that's that. On our website, you'll find a calendar of events, and we have some coming up events. We're clouded out. We didn't have a lot to do January, and what little we did got clouded out. We got a good chance of being clouded out again in February. This is Memphis, for goodness sake. But we have what we call a telescope mentoring event, February the 8th, this coming Saturday, at Hinton Park in Collierville. We start those early. We try to get started in the daylight hours. So if you want help setting up your telescope, learning how to set it up and operate it, you can get there early enough to be able to see what you're doing, and we can see what you're doing and help you with it in the daylight. And then, of course, as we go into the dark hours, help you find things, figure out what you're doing with your telescope, figure out how to operate it. So those are what we do at Hinton Park. Hinton Park is a mildly light polluted. It's out in Collierville. It's still under the light dome of the Memphis area, but not as bad as most parts of town. Still not as good as our dark sky site. On February 15th, we've got a couple of folks that are going out to the archaeological park at Pinson Mound State Park, and that's there are Indian mounds there and other archaeological dig events happening and stuff going on, and they're having an evening about astronomy. There'll be an indoor presentation followed by a short outdoor observing. So that's on February 15th. March the 1st, we're going over to the Mississippi River State Park again near Marianna, Arkansas. And that's been a good site. It's nice and dark. The park has really got nice facilities. And last time we were there, it had a big crowd and lots of telescopes, and we need to do that again. So that's going to be a subject of my next conversation. And then we've got a presentation on March 5th. We're working with the Off the Walls Arts Center. It's the name escapes me now. But anyway, they're doing a multimedia space astronomy related thing, indoor presentations, perhaps some workshops about imaging, and lots of pictures, some of which are going to be from many of the astrophotographers in the Memphis Astronomical Society. I think we're sharing some pictures with them to put up in the gallery, and then an outdoor observing session to be worked out, up to and including maybe like having Stellina outside on the roof and having the visuals indoor on a projection screen or something. So we hadn't got all that worked out yet, still working on it, but that's coming up March 5th. And then March 8th, we're back at Hinton Park again with another mentoring opportunity. And we do a lot of outreach, and turns out, and if you believe in coincidences, sometimes I don't. Uh, we've got the people from the Night Sky Network here to talk to us tonight, and they provide us with teaching materials and stuff, and then for the last few years, sent us pins that, quite honestly, they all come to me, and I haven't figured out until lately exactly what to do with them. But it became apparent to me this time that, um, and probably from now on, these are going to the people that help us do a lot of the footwork for our outreach events. Mylan Vigil is our current Vice President of Observing, and in 2024 was our outreach chairperson and does most of the coordination work for our outreach events, including a lot of uh, the troubling work of trying to get people to volunteer to show up for these things and help us with them. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the future, but we're going to try to make that job easier for him. But Mylan, thank you very much for your efforts. I've printed a certificate, and you'll be receiving one of these very nice pins next time I see you. Also, to receive the president's recognition for outreach efforts is Mark Matthews, our former VP of Observing last year, and who is almost always involved in our outreach efforts, and still so, I'm pretty sure. And thank you very much, Mark, for all of the work you put into it. A pin and certificate are headed your way as well. And last but not at the least, our former, shoot, I forgot to change the title. I'm sorry, I'll fix that. Uh, Jeremy Veldman, who is not Vice President of Observing, he was the president of the MAS last year, and is very much involved in all of our outreach efforts. And Jeremy, thank you if you're on. You are here tonight. Thank you for all your work you do in that arena. And I'll get the certificate fixed and uh, get that to you as well, along with a pin. So thank you guys for all the work you do. There are plenty of others, and I hate that I only have 3 pins, but thank you so much for all your work, and we really appreciate it. We had a few new members to the MAS. Kelvin Ford has recently joined, Anita White, Kavita Baum, and Leon Hermenter. Uh, Thank you all for paying dues and joining the Memphis Astronomical Society. Welcome to our event. I hope to get a look through here in a minute and see if any of you are actually attended the meeting. So that's what normally happens. So people will join and then they don't show up for the meeting. But we move forward. Let's see. All right. As a member, one of the member benefits is you get our fine newsletter, which is professionally produced and absolutely wonderful. I have actually gone back to, after so many years of printing it, and because this is so well done, I print a copy and leave it on my coffee table for people that come by and visit, get a chance to look at it. But we've got some feature articles this month. Well, I don't have it up here. This month we've got a story about an asteroid that could possibly collide with Earth, and I'm not going to give away the ending. You'll need to get the newsletter and read it to find out what that's about. And little plea to people about coming volunteering for observing sessions. A nice little article written by, oh yeah, Rick Honey. I know that guy. And some other stuff about light pollution, some great photographs from our astrophotographers, and as always, your ever handy sky map with observing things to look at on the back, and our latest calendar of events. You can also find our calendar of events on our webpage, and that's enough of that. Also, in our media right, we're going to start having a classified ads section. This is for members only. This is not to be used for commercial sales. Even if you're a member, you don't join the MAS and own a commercial business to sell astronomy equipment. Okay, that's just not what this is about. So, members only, personal equipment only, and new, used, otherwise, buy, sell, trade, swap. We've talked about trying to have a swap meet maybe once a year. We're going to try to put something together for this spring. Send any information you want to put in our newsletter that you want to sell or trade, get rid of, or give away to Rick at memphisastro.org, and I'll be sure to get it into the newsletter. We have an astrophotography group, and on our website there's a page where you can sign up to get involved in that group. And I didn't update the meeting time link. Meryl, when's the next one? It's February the 15th.
19th.
The 19th. Okay. So coming the 19th, we'll have a Zoom call of our astrophotography group, and we'll send out in our email distribution a list of the topics and stuff to be covered. It's a participation meeting. It's not meant to be presentations. It is a place where learners and teachers get together to try to help each other make better pictures. So come join us, the Mass Fits. And that's a play on some acronyms and stuff. So join the Mass Fits. Let's see. Next slide. Okay. You can find a link to our stuff store, our swag, logoed materials. I got to tell you, the coffee cups are really pretty cool. The stickers and what have you we've got are great. They make great T-shirts. MAS does not make money on this stuff. It's not. But it's a way to show your interest and perhaps let others know that you're a part of the Memphis Astronomical Society. Maybe get somebody else to ask questions and figure out what we're about. Lots of neat stuff there. So get your MAS swag at Cafe Press. All right, tonight's presentation is about our use of NASA's Night Sky Network website, and what we've been doing, which I think only touches the tip of the iceberg with them. They are it's a collaboration between, I think, NASA's Jet Propulsion Labs out in San Francisco and the Astronomical Society of the Pacific. So, without further ado, with just a little further ado, I have one thing I got to share with y'all because it was so cool to have this occultation occur with Mars and the Moon. And it's been a long time since I've seeing the moon, not just do a grazing occultation, but a complete occultation, and with it waiting long enough to see the moon come out the other side. And one of our members um, captured it all on video, and here it is for your watching enjoyment. I'm sorry, but that I couldn't resist. He did actually video it and got pictures, and he put all this together from his actual pictures he captured. But what a hoot! Uh, Thanks for that, Brent. That made me laugh.
Oh, that is so funny.
All right. With that being said, I'm going to stop sharing and then allow you. I assume you want to uh, share
Yeah,
something. So
yeah. We didn't test this out, so we're flying on by the seat of our pants tonight. We'll
I
just,
just turned on sharing so that you can share. So
all right.
help
See,
yourself.
let's see. What are y'all seeing?
I see Night Sky Network
All
slide.
right. I've got some other things up top I'm going to pull up, so I'll just go. Sorry about the tabs and all
No
the
problem.
tabs I usually have going. This was the cold version. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me join you tonight. It's just a thrill to be here. My name is Vivian White. I work at the Astronomical Society of the Pacific in San Francisco, California. Can you hear me okay? I'm pretty deaf, so let me know if you can't. Just give a holler. I can see some of your faces.
It's all good.
Okay, great. Ah, I work at the Astronomical Society of the Pacific in San Francisco, California, and I have been working there for 19 years since I was 12. But I am originally from Nashville, Tennessee. And it's nice. My mom was asking me if I was going to get my accent back if I talked to you, and already I feel it coming back. No whiskey needed. I was saying earlier, I think I'm gonna just hear it. I seem to have lost it coming out here, but I'll now that I'm with you, it feels right at home. So the Night Sky Network has been around for 20 years. It started just before I got to the ASP, and we are dedicated to bringing the wonder of NASA science to astronomy clubs and making sure y'all have everything you need to be able to talk to the public about what NASA is doing. So I'll give you a little bit of the history, tell you some of what we offer, and then just open it up for questions. And honestly, just feel free to stop me at any time and you can ask questions. Yeah, happy to just make it more of a conversation if you feel like it.
Thank you.
Um, those are some of the links on here. The Night Sky Network, like I said, has been around since 2004, and we have 400 and some odd astronomy clubs across the US who are members of the Night Sky Network. Uh, at last count, we had reached over 8 million visitors. This is in reports that clubs have told us about what they're doing. So I'll show you how that works in a minute. And almost 70,000 events that are on the calendar. We have about, I think in 2024, we had an average of 16 events on the calendar every day for the whole year. So, of course, weekends are busier, but it's a lot of events across the country happening. And it's a great place to share them because they get shared widely in NASA and beyond. And I'll show you some of the places. So this is all of our information. Feel free to email us at any time, nightskyinfo@astrosociety.org. That gets to myself and Kat Troach, who very much wanted to be here tonight but couldn't make it. And so I'm happy to be here in her stead. Let's see if the forward and backward works. How about this? Hey, all right. Hey, this Jeremy, I see that you're on. I saw that you were on earlier. I hope you're still on. This is your picture from Beale Street last year. Thank you so much. You all have been reporting on some cool events going on, and I appreciate that. So let me just let you know how we got set up. So in 2004, my predecessor, Marnie Berenson, who, if you watched any of the videos, you'll have recognized her there. She did her master's thesis. There was a question. We wanted to get involved with NASA and have them support amateur astronomy because we know all the great stuff we're doing. We know how much astronomy that we really do know, but there had never been a real study to show what it is that we know. So Marnie's research that she did for her thesis, she was getting her master's in there's a online university in um, Australia. Name's escaping me right now, but her thesis,
Swinburne.
yes, Swinburne, that's right, Swinburne. Yeah, thank you. So she got her degree there, and her thesis was on what do amateur astronomers know, conceptual astronomy knowledge among amateur astronomers. And she wanted to prove, because she's been an amateur astronomer her whole life, that amateur astronomers, we know what we're talking about. So she did that research and did indeed prove that across the US, amateur astronomers are incredibly knowledgeable about certainly observing, but also just general astronomy knowledge. And so NASA said, well, all right, since y'all know what you're talking about, let's see if we can support what you're doing. I think there was a little bit of a concern before that maybe we were just enjoying our hobby and not actually able to speak eloquently about it. So NASA funded JPL, the Jet Propulsion Lab down in Southern California, got a grant with us and funded the initiation of the NASA Night Sky Network. And we prove to them that we are in our communities. Our communities know us. They are used to seeing us on the sidewalk or in the parks with our telescopes, and we know what we're doing. So, and we love to share about it. So, how can NASA help us? Well, NASA wanted us to make sure we knew everything about what NASA was up to, about all the cool missions that they have happening. And they realized also that a lot of the classroom materials that they were making were not terribly useful for our environment. We can't use fidgety paper things with lots of scissors and glue and glitter. Like that is not going to work with my telescope. So we worked, I joined in 2006, and we worked to create these toolkits, and I'll show you some of those in a minute, so that we could take the concepts that NASA was talking about and explain them in a not fussy way. So, and NASA is paying for those, your tax dollars, hard at work. They're very inexpensive, and they go out to hundreds of astronomy clubs across the country that help explain in simple ways what it is that NASA is doing, what it is that we love so much about astronomy. So they said, yeah, go for it. Let's do it. I joined in 2006. I started volunteering for the Astronomical Society of the Pacific when I was in college, and got my degree in physics and was an avid amateur astronomer with the San Francisco Amateur Astronomers. And so I was volunteering, and she needed an assistant, and I came on in 2006 as an assistant, and I have been here ever since, and I love it. All right, is that everything? Let's see.
Just coincidentally, that was Mylan Vigil in the middle of that in the center of that
Wait,
picture.
let's see. Let's go back.
Yeah, the
Wait,
guy with the ball
yours.
cap on, that guy right there, that's Mylan.
Hey, Mylan, are you on tonight? Is he here? I
Yes,
thought,
I'm on.
hey, nice to see you. Thank
Good.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Mylan. Congratulations on your outreach award.
That was a shock.
All right, so we went for it and created these resources that are specifically for our community. Because Marnie is really, really focused on making sure that we give people what it is that they want. We did a lot of research, and we had a thorough testing procedure where for every single set of materials that we created, we went through and got a focus group to come to San Francisco or sometimes to the Jet Propulsion Lab and try out all these crazy materials that we've been practicing with. And then we've refined things again, and we'd send it out to clubs across the country and get their feedback about, hey, what is it that you like about this? What is it that you don't like about it? And a lot of the materials that we created were designed by and tested by us as amateur astronomers. I will say all of the materials that we've created are that way, because one of the issues that we all face, maybe me here more in San Francisco than in Memphis, but the clear skies piece. Often when we go to observe, it is not as clear skies and we get stuck for an hour or two with clouds, or the fog for us comes in early. So having something to do, to talk about while we're at the telescope, but also when it gets cloudy, seemed like a reasonable time to share some of the beauty of what NASA's up to. So these are some of the outreach toolkits that we created. We have, 13 in all. And the Memphis Astronomical Society, y'all have some of these. I don't think you have all of them yet, but they cover, well, just about everything from the moon all the way out to black holes and supernova and looking for aliens. We got it all. And the astronomy clubs can earn these by hosting and reporting on about 2 events per quarter. So we send them out twice a year. If you have reported on 2 events on the last quarter or the one before, you'll be qualified to receive one of these for free. So let's see, the next time we send them out, January, March, we'll probably be sending them out again in April. So if there's one that you like, you can always just send us an email and say, hey, we talk a lot about the sun. Can we get the sun toolkit or whatever you need? Otherwise, they just come slowly twice a year. Let's see. They're really good for outreach events, for outdoor events, for indoor events. We have everything from a presentation that you can use on each of these topics, all the way to hands-on stuff, to things you can use at the telescope. And I'll show you a little bit about the first toolkit that we created was Planet Quest, and that was all about searching for life beyond Earth. And aliens are what lots and lots of people talk about. So we try and create this Venn diagram of what does NASA want to talk about? What does the public want to hear about? And what do we as amateur astronomers want to talk about? Because those are sometimes pretty different. So like for black holes, well, we don't observe black holes. So it's not something that comes up really naturally when we're at the telescope. So we had to think about ways in which what we observe relates to the black hole. So talking about the lives of stars, for example. But for Planet Quest, this one's, say, a celestial treasure hunt. So you can find different things in the night sky, put them in context for your visitors about how they fit into the search for life. So the recycling of materials, and it gives you a little background so that they have a little bit of the building block, not just of seeing a faint fuzzy object, but kind of knowing how that fits into the bigger story. Similarly, we had these observing cards, and both of these you can just print out and use anytime. When we send them to you, you get a fancier set, but you can print any of these out, and they are also available with a red light cover, so you can use them if you're using an iPad or something like that. And you can use them at night, and they won't ruin your night vision. But the Planet Quest observing cards give you just new ways to talk about stuff you're already observing and relate it to our search for extraterrestrial life. It gives you a couple of new stories to tell. Yeah, so that's about that. I'll tell you, I'll give you a sneak peek. You're the first people in the Night Sky Network to see this. This is our newest toolkit that we're about to release. It is going to be our dynamic sun. So these are also going to be cards that come out. They've got different pieces of information about solar cycles and what are you looking at? Could you stand on the sun? All different questions that we get asked by the public and that NASA wants to talk about. And again, that Venn diagram. So these are in review at NASA right now. We'll get some feedback and make some final tweaks, and then hopefully, what are we? Gosh, I don't know how it got to be February already, but soon we will send them out. So you should be able to get your hands on some of those soon, since y'all have been really active. So I
We're
checked with.
still doing a lot of solar observing, even after the eclipses. We're setting up at parks during the day. More of us have hydrogen alpha filters now since the eclipses than we did before, and telescopes with white light solar filters set up. So we're doing more and more of that these days than we used to.
That is great. That's the argument we made to get funded for that. I said, after the eclipse, everybody I know has a solar telescope now. Nobody, there used to be 2 or 3 guys in our club who had one. And now everybody seems to have one or some way of viewing the sun, and it's great. It's really lovely. And what we recognized, we did a solar toolkit before, so this is an update. The last one's, gosh, 12 or 13 years old now. So this is an update, and we realized that when we did this the first time, a lot of people miss or talk about things that they see on the sun in ways that are not totally right on. So this is a little bit of an education for us. I know that I was calling prominences the wrong thing when I first started researching this for the first time. Like, oh, I think I was saying that wrong. And so it gives you some specific examples about what you see with different in H alpha versus calcium versus all of that. And also just helps you talk about it, gives pictures for the public so they can see what it looks like. Anyway, so y'all are the first people to see that. Coming soon. Yeah, I was just going to show one more and then I'll get on to other things that we do. So this is the telescopes toolkit, and this is a really fun one. This is a great, it's surfboard foam, and we use it to talk about how mirrors reflect light. Really intuitive. I took it to my college astronomy professor, and he was like, "This is fantastic."
When I saw it, I thought that's perfect. I should have
Yeah,
bought
it's
it a long
really
time
easy.
ago.
Yep. So, and then it talks about magnification versus resolution and averted vision, and why don't I see any colors in my telescope? So common questions that we all get asked, and these are just ways for us to then talk about it with the public. So, yeah, I'll say I'm happy to expand on anything you want. We also have huge banners. This is the original magnetic sun banner. Our Geraldine Ramirez in Kansas City, she put together these big, uh, what do you call them? PVC pipe.
Yeah,
Uh,
frames,
those
PVC
do
type
not come
frame.
with the frames. The frames don't come with it, but the banners do. You can put them on fences. You can put them on cars, anything you need to. We use them. Some of them have magnets. Others have little ties. You can kind of use them as you want. But these are really great for talking
We
about.
have that set, and we used it during the eclipses presentations and stuff.
Oh, great. Excellent. Yeah. So these are just common things again um, that we explain. So we were doing toolkits. We were having a great time. And in 2011, we applied for and got a grant from the National Science Foundation to research what it is that's keeping amateur astronomers from doing more outreach. We anecdotally all knew that in an amateur astronomy club, there are 100 people, you know, maybe 5 of them are doing outreach, another 5, there's some overlap there too, are on the board, and a lot of people show up for some meetings and enjoy it or come to an outreach event here and there. And this is just common. This is just similar to what it looks like all over the country. You're not the only ones. We were not the only ones having this experience. So we're like, well, we know how much fun talking to the public is. Why doesn't everybody do this? And maybe not everybody. Why don't more people do this? Because it's really fun and rewarding and what's going on. So we asked the National Science Foundation to give us a 5-year grant to research astronomy clubs, see what's going on, what people are up to, and it what what it came down to is just like everything is we're all really busy, right? We all have a lot of things competing for our attention. And running an astronomy club is a lot of work sometimes, especially being on the board. I know you're laughing. I know I have absolutely been there too. I was feeling for you earlier. I think I told you I was the treasurer when I joined, and I was like, oh my gosh, can we please get some better systems in place because we were working with, you know, when I got there, I moved us to Excel, but we had been working with, little ledgers, and I was feeling like it was the 20th, it was already the 21st century. It was time to move on to Excel. And I felt so great about getting my club onto that, because I was handed this big stack of records. And I thought, oh my gosh, first of all, that's a big responsibility, but also I don't want to be the only one who knows what's going on. Right. So we took the Night Sky Network with this funding that we got. We found out that it's just the systems aren't in place to run an effective club. And this was in, again, 2011, before there was a lot of club management software. Now people have figured this out. The internet has gotten much bigger than it was back then. And there is software that will help you manage clubs and, excuse me, events and things like that. But at the time, there wasn't much out there to help. So we created a full backside to the Night Sky Network that allowed for club management and event management and things like that. And I'll show you more about that. I think I put these in the wrong order. Give me 1 second. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit and show you. Oh, you saw that? Oh gosh. All right. No, that's not true. I'm going to come right back. Apologize. I'll show you what it looks like. Our website has become for about 200 clubs, 180 to 200, depending on the week. It's a club management system where clubs are using our network in order to keep track of membership, keep track of events that they're having, who's coming to what, and I'll show you some of that. So it just got picked up by the main NASA website, which is really exciting. We used to be out of JPL, and just last year we finally made it. The NASA science.nasa.gov had a big reorganization, and they took their most popular sites, their 20 most popular sites, and we were one of them. And we felt so honored that they really wanted us to be on their main NASA webpage. So we have a new public-facing website on science.nasa.gov. You can still go to nightskynetwork.org. That's the short version. But we have this, and it showcases all of the public events that clubs across the country are doing. It helps people find their local clubs. Let's see, what else do you have? We've got resources like a night sky planner on there, everything that you might need in order to plan for what you're going to see tonight. It's got the dark sky. Lost the words. Anyway, it's got all. I'll show it to you in a minute if you want. And it's also got monthly articles and many other things. I encourage you to check it out and see if see what it's got on there, because there's a lot going on. But the reason it works is because astronomy clubs across the country, they put their events in and share what they're doing with the rest of the world. And that makes it a really useful resource for NASA to reference, because anyone can find their local astronomy club. So I will just, sorry, I think I got going on a tangent there for a minute. So this is your internal site. So that I just showed you the front side. That's what the public sees. But if you log into, if you're a member of the Night Sky Network and you log into the, Memphis Astronomical site, you'll be able to see this whole back end where you can, oh, I'm sorry, this is actually the public view. Sorry, cancel. If you are searching for a club and you are in Memphis, you will find the Memphis Astronomical Society. It's got your logo, it's got a little bit about you. It's also got your upcoming events on there so people can come and join you. And then things like where to find you, either YouTube, Facebook, also the how to contact you and things like that. It also allows for them to request an event. If they want to have an event, say at a school, it gives them a chance to have all the information in one place, and you can say, hey, you can ask for whatever kind of information you want, and that's set up on the back end for y'all. So this is the public part of the Memphis Astronomical Society, and it's fairly simple. But if you are a coordinator, which I know Rick and Steve and a few others of you are coordinators, you are able to log in, and this has got a whole dashboard up there for you it's got many different features. So you can, for example, schedule an event. You can request RSVPs from your membership and have them from their email just say yes or no or maybe if you allow that option. Get RSVPs just immediately from your members. It makes it really easy. We tried to set up a system, and it seems pretty effective for lots of clubs that allows for it to be easier to know who's coming to an event because we all know that takes 43 emails back and forth about what time and where are you and here's the thing you need to know and back and forth. So who's coming and who's keeping track of who's coming and which of the different roles are you going to have, who's bringing telescopes, who's going to work the parking lot. We had all of those things. So this allows you to keep up with who's RSVP'd to an event, for example, and things like that. So you can have message groups where you send messages. I think you all are working on a different message group thing. You have some way to send messages, I saw, which is totally fine. You can use bits and pieces of this or none at all. But it is.
Yeah. You're encouraging all of our members to join
individually. Yeah, they are absolutely welcome to.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. That's I didn't know that. So that's good information.
And if you go to, let me just go back, Harlan, 1 second.
Well, but they don't have to, right? They can see this stuff without signing up or joining another website or getting on somebody else's email distribution list, right? They can see all this. Steve, I'm thinking this might be the best place to set up the outreach volunteers list, especially if we can do that invite thing where we get people to respond whether they can attend or not, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I can see how that works if you want to anytime. We can set up even office hours if you want to do it offline. For that, you would have to have them signed up as part of they would want to be on like a outreach list. So they would need an account in here, but they don't have to actually do much, or you can just send us a list of all the people and we can put them on there as long as they all agree.
Yeah. And they get
So,
the emails, and if they check the box, we get the response back, right?
Yep. And we only send out 1 email a month, so you won't get a bunch from us, and you can say we don't want any Night Sky Network. It just tells you like what these are. So you won't get spammed a lot. It's really just from y'all. We've set these up to be resources for the clubs. So I'm gonna just go back. It tells you, like if you have something coming up, you'll say, hey, we have an event that you need to report on or something like that. It'll tell you if there's anything, or you have a new club member who wants to join. I can show you how to get all that set up. We won't do it here on the main webinar unless you feel like you can ask questions about that later too. So this is this is what you see as a club coordinator, and similarly, this is if you're just a member, and the club coordinator has, of course, kind of administrative access for your club. You can update people's emails, but club members can also update their own information. So I like that for my club because they know where to go and they just update it if they've moved or if they have a new email or whatever. They can keep up with their own stuff there. In the same way, that's why we love this system, because you as clubs also keep all of your own information fresh. I'm going to say it's better than the Astronomical League's list of clubs because it's current. Astronomical League, maybe Sky and Telescope. I'm not going to brag, but it is current, which I really do like, because all the clubs, if someone notices that a club is out of date, we reach out to them and say, hey, something's going on there. Your club link doesn't work anymore. And sometimes they're not there anymore. Most of them, we had a big drop off during the pandemic. Um, but we seem to have stabled out now. We're back up to 400 clubs. So we also got some new clubs in when that happened. So, okay. So those are what you can do on the inside. It's really, really, it's got a lot of features, and I won't go into all of them, but I'm more than happy to share those with you anytime. As Rick was saying, we have outreach pins. We've got 20 years of outreach pins for active clubs. I think I'm missing a few years here. But seeing as this is our 20th celebration year, oh, I'm missing the best one. Do I have one? Oh, drat. The eclipse pin was particularly awesome. I will see if I can find one later. Some of them glow in the dark. These are, as part of that NSF grant, one of the things we found is that recognition really helps, as you just did, Rick. That was exactly it. So, creating a club culture where public engagement, public outreach is a valued way of being a member. Maybe that's just what some people want to do. Maybe they're not astrophotographers. That's a valued way of being a member for sure. But maybe people can just have time that they enjoy sharing the night sky with people, and that's a valued way to be an amateur astronomer. And creating a culture where that is true can really increase the amount of uh, outreach volunteers that you get. We have a whole list. Do I have that? I'll bring it up in a second. I think, oh, maybe I have it here. One second. Yeah, we have, are y'all seeing a different screen now, the Growing Your Astronomy Club? This is part of that research that we did, Growing Your Astronomy Club, welcoming visitors, getting them, keeping them coming back, and cultivating volunteers. Or there's tip sheets and also short 5-minute videos that give you more information about like what we found were the best practices of clubs across the country and how they, the ones who had all the volunteers, how they did it, because they really, I mean, they have some really innovative ways of doing it. We have another one. Wait, 1 second. Nope. Yeah, sharing the universe. Oh, one of the other things we found from that research is that tips for public engagement. Some people are just worried about not knowing enough or how to say I don't know. Connecting with kids. These are some common issues that we found when we did our research that came up around why people don't want to do public engagement. So handling difficult questions, that one's funny. And how to get a wow when you're not showing Saturn. So like after you do the moon and Saturn, then what? These are made by amateurs for amateurs. We are our own audience. So I'll go back to this and just share. Forgive me, I can't put these slides together and they're a little out of order. I apologize. I'm not throwing her under the bus, but I had a different order for what I was going to share with you. But I'll share this anyway. So those events that you put up on the calendar, they get shared widely on lots of different, I'm not advertising any of these apps. We don't make any money, but they say, hey, can we share these events, that the public events that clubs have? Can, you know, if people are using Sky Safari or Distant Suns, or they're looking for science events in their area, can we share your public events? And so we do. We share them widely. There, it's on the NASA website. It's on quite a few places. So when you put your club events up, they have a chance of getting picked up by lots of different people, which is kind of fun. It helps. One of the other things we found was that publicity. Who's got time for publicity? We're all volunteers, right? It's not usually in the wheelhouse of our club board. So we are helping with publicity as well. See, I did bring that right back into what I was talking about. All right. Oh, one of the really cool things that we have done lately is we partnered with, this was another NASA grant. It was not ours. It was working with the SETI Institute, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. They had a grant to update the Girl Scout astronomy badges, and we had so much fun doing it. The Girl Scouts have this really wonderful philosophy of how to bring girls and young women into lots of different things. They have coding classes, and I mean, they run the gamut. It's really cool. But we help them with their astronomy badges, and one of the steps in each of the badges is get in touch with your local astronomy club. You have people right there, right? They're in your neighborhood. And then we realized that we did this for a number of reasons. We all know that it seems impossible to say it because we've been saying it for 20 years, but astronomy clubs are graying. I have gotten much more gray since I have been an amateur astronomer myself. But we all know when we look around the room, there are not a lot of young women in our clubs, and that is across the country and for lots of different reasons. But we wanted to make sure that astronomy clubs were welcoming places for these young women to come and learn astronomy. So we created a set of more videos, but these are really fun ones too. They are, it's called Confidence and Curiosity, Girls at the Confidence and Curiosity, Girls at the Telescope, I think. And it's just tips for working with this next generation of young girls and what their interests are and how, I'll put all these links in the chat in a second. What they're learning, like for example, with the space science badges, but also, education is very different today than it was when I was in school. And what works to engage young girls today is different than what worked even, 30, 40 years ago. To just what they're exposed to in the world and how they bring in new knowledge and the things that they're not afraid of that I was completely felt like was out of my realm. They are jumping in feet first, and they're really excited to be a part of the astronomy community. So this is just creating some resources and tips for amateurs who are working with young girls and women. Okay, am I way over time? It is almost 6 o'clock. I'm sorry.
We don't have a clock.
Okay. I think I have one more slide, maybe two. Okay. Just want to make sure I've kind of covered everything. So I know some of you have said you come to our monthly webinars. These are really fun. They have great NASA scientists. We bring in people from all the different NASA missions. They are obviously free there at 6 p.m. So 8 p.m. your time, usually the second half of the month, and I can put a link in there to the next upcoming ones. Yeah, I told you, the tracking volunteer. I'm glad I said that. Tracking volunteer hours, you can do that if you are a member of the Astronomical League and you get like their observing awards or anything like that. You can track your volunteer hours and get them to them. We are partners with them. I didn't mean to throw them under the bus earlier. They also have a great list of astronomy clubs and tons of dedicated volunteers. But so
they charge too much to be a member.
Oh, really?
I think the club fee was a couple of $100 or something years ago. I mean, up until recently, that was a challenge for us. Now, in recent years, our budget's grown, but
Oh, that is interesting. I am a member.
I think personal membership was about $50 a year, maybe.
Oh, no, I'm sure I wouldn't pay
No,
that. I'll check.
I could be wrong. It's been years since we
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
into it.
You
We
know what
looked
they
into
offer?
joining as a club at one
Yeah,
and it was a little more money than we wanted to spend at the time.
they offer tons of great stuff, but one of the things that I send people there all the time for is they have insurance. They offer club insurance at a discounted rate because they have like a group, all the clubs who want insurance can get it through them, and then it's a discounted something or other. Anyway,
Meryl, we might want to look into
I hear that. Yes.
that.
yeah, I know it's not where my brain goes, but
I talked to their director recently. They don't offer that anymore.
Ouch.
really?
Their insurance underwriter, it just didn't work out.
Must have been State Farm.
Yeah, I think they have lowered their prices quite a bit, Rick. And their website was down for about 3 or 4 months. They were struggling clearly.
They were, okay, I'll check in with them. I love them. I'm a member. I've been a member for 20 some years. Uh, they have great, oh, if you haven't been, this is not the Night Sky Network. I'm going to put it on a different hat. I'm not, actually, I don't work for them. This is just me as an amateur astronomer. They are having at Bryce Canyon National
Oh,
Park,
yeah, yeah.
their, uh, their Astronomical League convention this year. And
Oh,
still
wow.
really early. If you want to go, they have the darkest skies. If you can get out there, I will be there with the bells on. So you'll hear me at night when just kidding. I'm really excited to go. Okay. This was not a apples and oranges. We do different things,
Gosh,
but I love
no
the
worries.
think I should just say. Um, these are a couple other things that we do. I think I covered most of this. Um, yeah, oh, we do offer goodies, so any club in good standing can order NASA stickers and postcards and posters and things like that as they come available. We pass those on. What else? What else? Yeah, the award pins. So I'm not going to call you out right now, but you can order as many as you want. We just offer them at cost. They're $2 each, so that includes shipping to you. If you need more pins. That
I was going to ask if we could buy more. So
Yeah, yeah, totally. So a lot of clubs use that as their, um, uh, you know, way to honor the.
bribe, spit it out. It's just a bribe. That's all it is.
But but when you show up with all your pins on your jacket and your,
Yeah,
volunteer
coolness.
extraordinaire, it's pretty cool, especially if
Yeah.
they go in the dark. I'm just saying. Okay. That's really all I have. And I just wanted to tell you where to find us. You can email us anytime. The Night Sky info at Astro Society goes to myself and to Kat Troach, who would love to be here tonight, but is not. That's where to find us on all the things. Um, and I'm happy to
We
answer.
print we print her article once a month in our newsletter.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. I don't even think I mentioned that. So thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we put out it used to be the Space Place article, and they passed it on to us because it was amateur astronomers who were reading it and putting it in our newsletters. And so they passed it on to us and said, "Would you like to do this?" And we said so much. We love writing about space. So Kat often writes those, and Dave Prospero before her was amazing at those. Um, yeah, we have a good crew on staff, and I don't know what this was. I didn't even know this was on here. That might have been added. So that is who we are and what we do. And I am so glad to get to talk with y'all tonight. And just feel free to ask any questions you'd like. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you very much. And anyone that has questions, welcome to unmute yourself and ask away. We really appreciate this. You stirred up a lot of things I want to look at and consider for future use, which I'll be bringing up to the board in this month. And there's some cool stuff here. Well, things I've overlooked or since we've been doing this. So
I'm sorry, board. I think they're only in order to make lives easier, not to create any additional work. So I hope
oh
that.
yeah, no, it's cool tools. So and the stuff we've gotten over the years, we've probably given most of it away, trying to get it to teachers and people that can use it in the classroom more than we do hanging on to it. So, um, but
Make,
like I said, some of the posters we've hung on to, some other stuff that we will keep in the future, especially that foam little thing with all the sticks in it. I got to do that. Why didn't I think of that? That's so cool. It was there. It was right on. Ray tracing. So
exactly. That's it. That's all it is. But like that you can have in your pocket. It's so simple. You don't need any like
yeah,
lasers are more fun.
I used to do a lot of stuff with Boy Scouts, and I used to teach the Boy Scout astronomy merit badge, and I've got baskets of styrofoam balls and the basketball and the tennis ball, the Earth Moon relationship, and it's all kinds of stuff. But doing the styrofoam balls and how the moon phases work is one of them. I have more fun with that. You set up a really bright light source in the middle of a circle, and have all the boys stand around it and hold the ball up and see how it changes. Light, you can see the light switches flip.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you do the one on with the yardstick eclipse for the eclipse? That's one of my. It's similar in idea.
Yeah.
If you make a scale model of the Earth and Moon, you can actually see the little moon shadow, just
Right.
like a tiny little
Tiny
spot.
dot on.
It's
Right.
wild.
That was
It's,
fun. That was wild. I
yeah.
actually did the annular eclipse and the total eclipse in the last 2 years with the Exploratorium.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
That was
I
on.
went I did the annular in Nevada, and I had all the telescopes that they used to uh, do their do their broadcasts with, and then I did the same way down in Torreon, Mexico. I had the telescopes there.
Oh, so
Yeah, that
you
was fun.
clear for you is that
That was cool.
that's awesome. I went to Austin and it was cloudy.
The joke around MAS is they've actually paid me to do that, so now I'm a professional astronomer, right? So why not?
Pretty much.
Uh,
Oh, I'm just throwing a bunch of links in the chat so that I don't forget. I should have just made a list of these, but I forgot. Um,
if you
uh,
want, you can send me some of these, Rick at memphisastro.org.
okay.
And when I create the YouTube video, we'll make a YouTube video out of this and put it on our YouTube channel. And I'll
Oh,
put those links in there.
great. I will do that. I think I'll just take, if I put them all in here, then they're all in one place and I'll just get the chat recording and then
Yeah, I got it. So there you go.
mentioned. But um, so if you want your members to sign up, so any member of an astronomical society can be a member of the Night Sky Network. You can offer your club members a way to sign up themselves, or you can send people there, or you can send people to me and we'll sign them up for you, however you want to do that. If anyone wants to become a member, it's pretty easy. I'm just trying to see if y'all have a Memphis Astronomical Society. So you don't currently have it set up to accept new members. So if you want to do that, I can show you how.
Okay.
Option. We have lots and lots and lots of options. So I
I
apologize.
want to, if we do anything, I think what I really want to focus on right now is making sure we get our events into your system, and then facilitate more than just one person reporting on those events after the fact. So I want to work on that. And I think is there any way to like upload or download the event list from a spreadsheet, and then we can update that and send it back to you and get it posted, or actually upload a spreadsheet of events?
Don't have it that you can upload them yet, but we do have repeating. So like if you have
Oh,
a
okay. Okay.
club that you do every third Friday, you can just
Yeah.
put that in once and then copy it and
And
edit.
then go through and adjust any of the ones that need adjusting. That's what we do with our own calendar already.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you can also, if you want, use this calendar on your club website. There's a way to just embed it directly, and I can show you all that. Or
Yeah, we
like,
looked at doing that at one point, and there was an issue with it at the time. Maybe it wasn't quite working yet or something. And
oh,
that's when we got this Google calendar embedded in ours now, but
oh,
we
yeah.
can switch that. So,
I wish that they talk to each other better. That would make me very happy. You can add all of these events to a Google Calendar, but you can't add Google Calendar events to these because it goes on NASA. There's all these like
yeah,
pretty tight security, which is great. It's actually really tight security, and we are just trying to make it work so that everybody can see everybody's events that they want to see.
right.
I forgot to say one thing. Hold on, you reminded me of something. Oh, oh, having many people do the different duties of the board is also part of why we set this system up, because there is a club coordinator manual. So when you hand the pile of members to your next treasurer, then they don't have to figure out how your system works or what you're doing. It's just one system that has a basic outline, and you can make it your own as you want to, but it does run on a pretty basic system, which is great. And oh gosh,
We keep our membership and treasury both now in Excel, so it's not
right.
overly complicated. So
That's beautiful. That does make an awful lot easier. Gosh, it keeps coming right back in and out. Oh, members are able to get not free, discounts on their, this was my addition. I feel very proud of this. On astronomy and Sky and Tel and all those magazine discounts.
okay,
That was the bane of my existence when I was a treasurer, having to certify all the people who were registered and sending in all of that.
yeah, right. They used to. Well,
Remember?
we did that for years. So you had to, yeah, you had to be a member and you had to be certified on the list, and we had to send that in to Sky and Telescope every year and
So
Astronomy
now, if you're a
Magazine.
member of the Night Sky Network, you automatically get the discount.
There
So
you
just
go.
have the link on there, you can find it. That makes that one piece. That was like the best thing
Very
that
cool.
me.
Yeah, what a pain.
Vivian, what services do you provide that you're surprised that societies like ours don't take advantage of?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I think that RSVP thing surprises me sometimes, because that is so useful to me and my club. Like I'm at the East Bay Astronomical Society now. We use that quite a bit. Trying to think.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
something we need to. Rick, I agree with you, Rick. That would be nice for Milan to coordinate all that.
Yeah,
hmm,
Yeah, we didn't even know about it, so that's a
outreach
good
event.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
one thing that you can do, so on your club calendar, I'll just pull up your calendar so you can see. Events. This is your calendar on, I'm just going to share my screen on the, you see in a calendar that says
Yeah.
Manifest
Right.
Society? Okay, you never know which one it's going to share. So this is what that looks like. You can set it so that it also shows regional, national events. Like, you have lots of options. Right now you don't have them turned on, and that is totally fine. But you can, um, let's see, if you go to calendar preferences, you can set it up differently, and you can say, let's see, it's got all your stuff on there when you were 70 years. I love that. There was a place here. Let me just grab it for you. This is all the stuff for when you applied. Let's go to the next tab and see what you got. There we go. Home page club options. So you can say, do you want the public to be able to complete a form to become a member in the club? And currently you have that as no, which is fine. And then accept service events, like accept event requests from the public. And that's a yes, you've got that on there. There's one more thing. Calendar, here we go. Do you include regional national events? So these are events that currently you don't, which is 100% fine. If you want to include, like, who does something around you? I mean, the Oklahoma stargaze. These are like the big ones, the big star parties that
Big
are
Texas Star Party and
the
those kind
star
of things.
party, right? I was just trying to think, there's one in eastern Tennessee. Anyway, um, you can show
So
it with certain,
if we chose yes there, it would show up on the Night Sky Network's national calendars.
no, good question. This is what your own club calendar would look like. So where I just was, let's see, I will see if I can open this in. There we go. So
This
this
is
is
our
your,
calendar on the Night Sky Network, and it would show up there.
it would show up there.
Yeah.
You, all of your events that you designate as public and visible on the main calendar, you can also make your own events as public as you want. There's a couple settings on that. I won't.
And if we use this calendar is on our website, then it's all one place, and you don't have to keep up with it in two places.
That's what we try for because we know
Sense, it's a good idea.
it's just that, and I have no skin in the game. You can use whatever you want, but
Sure.
you can say whether you want it to include federal holidays, that kind of stuff. You can also, if an event gets canceled due to weather, it'll just say canceled on there. You can just push one button and it's canceled, and then it shows on your calendar like that's not going to happen. And then there's RSVP. There's a lot of then things that you can go through and modify. The back end has got a lot of, and here's how to embed it on your club's website. You have to send us a little email with the URL of where you embed it. And this is what it'll look like if you want all of the events in the country. Sorry, but if you want one for just your club, you can do that too.
Yeah, I don't think we want to show all the events in the country. We'll
No,
refer them to your site.
absolutely. So I'll stop share. But those, I mean, it just has a lot of functions that I think are
Yeah, that's
they're
great.
designed with clubs in mind because we wanted them for our clubs, and we found out that we were not the only ones. So,
This is excellent.
yeah.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? Vivian, thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing all this. This was an excellent learning opportunity for me, and I'm the one that got us hooked up on this to begin with, and I just kind of I encourage others to use it, and I haven't done much with it, but it's an excellent tool, and I think we're gonna be able to use more facets of it than we have in the past. And I think that'll be excellent for us. Thank you very much. Anyone got anything else? So if you're not a member of the Memphis Astronomical Society and you can hear my voice, the question is why? Join. click on click on the link, go to our website, and if you think we're doing good work for the world, show your support by becoming a member of the Memphis Astronomical Society.